Hello guys, welcome back to my channel. It's Precious Keishawna, and today's tutorial I'm super excited about because I seen this hairstyle, wanted to do it for a while, and I was actually on YouTube trying to find a hairstyle with somebody with my hair texture doing this, and of course there was no video on it. So I said, let me do a video for you guys. We're just gonna ignore my edges because my daughter took those away. She's lucky, she's cute. So here I'm just parting out my hair and parting it in the direction that I want to go. I want a side swoop, so I just parted it out and I'm blow drying it in that direction, and I'll flat iron it in that same direction as well. I actually could have did my hair without flat ironing it, but because I want it to be super sleek and I just love the super sleek look, I went on ahead and gave myself a soft press. Here I'm just trying to swoop out and map out my hair to see how it would flow. And yeah, because of the texture of the braiding hair that I have, the ends of my hair wouldn't blend well. Through one time, it did need a bunch. You don't need it super straight because you're not wearing it like this, so you just need it soft enough and manageable. And this is the finished look. As you can see from the previous video, it's not so stuck together and shiny with all that product that I had in there. I'm only using black castor oil and the Got2b spray. I just used 2 drops and I'm just applying it all throughout my hair. You don't want to put too much because then it's going to prevent the Got2b spray from doing what it needs to do. And then I'm making sure I apply some to my edges because we're trying to get those to go back in. And I am applying it to my part because we don't need a dry part out here, sis. Now from experience, I am parting out my edges and swooping those out first. And I'm doing it by itself because when I did it before, it actually pulled tension on my hair and I had to take out my hair and redo it again. So I'm parting out my edges and doing that first. And this is to prevent tension, especially because my edges are very sensitive at this given moment. It's up to you. And I'm just blow drying it and making sure that's all set and in place. Now, the edge control did prevent my hair from getting as hard as everything else, but at the same time, my edges are doing perfectly fine, and this is 4 days later, and they're still sleek and in place, but it's just not as rock hard as everything else. So if that will be a problem for you, depending on how much you sweat or your situation, that's something that you want to take into consideration. Now, I parted the bang area off by itself, and then I worked with the back. The back, I did it in 3 sections. The first section, I used the remaining ends of my hair from my edges, and I went ahead and sprayed that along with the first set of hair. Now you just want to make sure you spray all over your hair and comb from the roots on down to make sure everything gets the product. And this will prevent you from having pieces puffing up or sweating out underneath of the top of your ponytail, if that makes sense. I don't know. So I'm just taking my time and I'm doing that. And then I just parted that into one more section to make sure I spray and get through my hair, because this hairstyle can last you up to 2 weeks, guaranteed a week, but depending on how you go about your everyday life, depends. You might be able to go through 2 weeks if you go to the gym all the time, maybe not so much, but you want to get your time's worth out of this hairstyle because it is time consuming and it takes you a while to get it done, especially if you're doing it by yourself, because it's kind of hard to see and you're kind of trying to map it out. So make sure you just spray it all over and comb through that hair and get it all in there. As time go by, you would feel it getting sticky, like the product building up on your hands. So I just had a makeup wipe on hand and I was just wiping my hands. Sometimes the makeup wipe wouldn't work, so I would have to actually get up and go wash my hand with water to remove it, because you don't want your sticky hand touching the hair, because then it would mess up your sleek look. And then I'm just blow drying that out. And this is how I have a mirror in front of me, and then I'm using the small mirror to try to look and see and make sure that it's not any white residue on my hair this time. I watched it and made sure, so that's why I only stuck to using 2 products this time, minus the edge control that I use for my edges, but just all in the spray. So I made sure I included this part because I had a lot of people attack me for not including the whole hairstyle. I'm sorry guys, I just hate super long videos. So I got it down to 15 minutes for you guys, and I made sure I included all steps so you guys can see how it goes. Now with the front area, as you can see, I am parting thinner pieces because this is the part where you sweat the most, and it's going to be moving towards your face. And because you got to wash your face and go in the shower and all these things, you want to make sure this is as hard and sleek down as possible. So I am just parting it out and spraying. Make sure you get behind your ear. Don't forget to spray back there and blow dry it. And the higher up you go, you would start to see that you got to start mapping out and swooping the hair in the direction that you want it to flow. And same thing, just spraying and drying, spraying and drying. You want to make sure you comb it out and make sure there's no strands, because if you have any flyaways flying around or any pieces you forgot, it will be dried exactly that way. So here I start to go diagonal because I've reached where I want my bang to start flowing. Now I personally didn't want it too much in my face because I live in Texas and it's starting to cool down, but it has its moments when it's extra hot. So I just made sure I didn't put it too far into my face. So this is a pretty good place for me. So this will be my base. So I took the second piece and I mapped it and applied it right on top of that. So I cut out that part because I literally laid it right on top of that same piece. And now we're moving along. And I probably broke this down into about 3 more pieces. And you just want to map it all the way out and make sure you have all your strands flowing where you want it to go before you even spray it, because it'll make it so much easier once you spray it to just comb it out and dry it. Now those little pieces in the front was trying to get away from me, so I had to keep spraying and swooping it and making sure I got it where I needed it to be, and I didn't forget about my little friends in the back. And honestly, I didn't put all those scrunchies in my hair as if I did before. I was just mapping my hair where I wanted it to go and just squeezing it into place. So when I did the final piece, that's when I put it all into a ponytail, because the extra scrunchies added tension to my hair and made it hurt and made me want to take it out. So keep that in mind. Once again, it's all optional. It's up to you. It's what you prefer. It's your preference. I'm just telling you guys tips on how I do my hair and what worked for me. And there, I'm just feeling throughout my hair to make sure there's no soft pieces, because any soft pieces there, then that means it will puff up. So I just felt through, and any places that still felt soft, I just went and sprayed it and blow dried it to set that all into place. Now you see all that spray running down my face. It eventually caught up to me and it dried white, but that's the least of problems. All you have to do is make sure you have some alcohol wipes or alcohol pads or even rubbing alcohol on hand, because I used the wipe and was wiping it away, but as you would see throughout the video, that did not help. It needed alcohol. So keep that in mind, but I wasn't worried about that. My daughter was taking a nap and I was more focused on making sure I get my hair done before she wakes back up. So at the end of all of doing my hair, then I went and I fixed that, because As you can see, the spray just kept running down my face, but it's all right. Once there's no white residue in the hair itself, I was good and I was satisfied. And you just want to blow dry. And as you can see, it waves up and it starts moving away from where you want it to go. So all you gotta do is spray a little more spray and then comb it in the direction that you want it to go, and it will easily just maneuver where you need it to be. And I'm just checking and making sure, and it feels like it's all good and ready to go. That little piece right there in my ear, because it was so much hair, it was not all the way dry, but I just left it, and I'm like, it will just dry along the way because I didn't want to spend too much time drying that one piece. And now I'm just taking the scrunchie and I am putting it in a ponytail finally. No worries, it's not going to have no bulky pieces or anything like that because you already dried your hair and moved it where it needed to be. Still felt a little soft back there, so I just went, added some more spray, combed it through, and blow dried it. And here is the hair that I decided to use. Super long. I used that, and I also had another piece of hair, not as long, the regular pack hair. And I used that because you need a piece to wrap around at the end, and I used the extra from that to feed in this braid to make it a little bit thicker because my hair is naturally thick, so I like a nice thick luscious braid. And because I wanted it thick, I also did not dip my hair in water because I noticed when a lot of girls dip their hair in water, the braid turned out really thin and not so flattering in my opinion. So here I'm struggling trying to braid my hair because one, I cannot see, I'm feeling my way through. Two, I'm trying to tuck my hair under as much as I could. So right there where I was reaching the ends of my hair, I went and I added some braiding hair there to try to maneuver my hair. It was a whole struggle. If you guys want to see a video on that, I'll do that separately. But I am new to the feed-in braid thing, and I'm still trying, so I didn't even show you guys all of that. But there's lots of videos on YouTube of people doing feed-in braids. And I just added a rubber band to the end of mine because I'm not dipping it in water. And here's the piece. Now, when I went to go look at that, I seen that the braid was too low, like it dragged down, so I had to go off camera, re-braid it, and then I came back and showed you guys how to wrap this part around because I'm not playing. Like, we need this hairstyle to be cute, girl. And you just take it, and you don't have to spray it every time you wrap it. Just wrap it as tight as you possibly can. And look at all that white residue building up in the back of my neck from all the spray running down and then my face. But, you know, I got some people that's going to point it out, but it's all right because they won't know that they didn't watch the whole video and they didn't listen and pay attention in class. But finally finished, and I went with some silver hair clips. I went the cheap route, okay? I see a lot of people getting all these fancy diamonds and all these things to add in there. Mine is a protective hairstyle on a budget, girl. This is under $10. And it's only so much because the braiding hair was so long. The longer the hair, the more money. But it's all good. It's under $10. We can work with that. And I had to force and fight and find a little piece for me to stick those pins in. I couldn't get nothing else in there. As you can see, I tried to do the crisscross thing myself and feel my way through. That was a complete fail. So I had to wait till my sister came home from school. And then I had her finesse my clips the way I wanted it to go. And this is the final hairstyle. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see y'all next time. Bye.